Hey y'all. Um, hey you guys, welcome to Wind Down Wednesday. I'm waiting for my co-host to come on, and I got my wine. I need to pour me a little more. Pour me a little more in my cup. Um, I don't got no viewers. I know y'all be coming in a little late. But I'm waiting for my co-host to join. Hey, Cherie. Waiting for my co-host to join, and we will get started with Wind Down Wednesday. Hey, Sita. And we're going to be talking about death of the ego today. So make sure y'all are giving us y'all definition and what y'all feel about it. Um, I'm giving Tamara a little bit more time. So how y'all been doing? How was y'all weekend and week so far? Y'all got y'all wine? What y'all drinking on? Waiting on Tamara to join me. Y'all, and I do not be knowing the time. Like when we be doing this, we be going on for hours. 1800 Black Cherry, okay? Ain't playing no games. Black Cherry? I ain't never heard of the Black Cherry game. I ain't never heard of the Black Cherry Cedar. And on that 18 on a Wednesday. I know this shit right. Tomorrow might need more time. So I might log off and come back on. Hold on, let me see if she hopped on. Hey, Booska. Welcome to Wind Down Wednesday. You got your wine? Waiting for Tamara to get on. She was going to get set up really quickly. Oh, here she is, you guys. Come on, it's gonna change me. Okay, perfect. Hey, Boo.
Hey, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Happy Wind Down Wednesday. How you doing?
I'm doing
That's
good.
good.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. So what
Oh,
you
I got
drinking
on
on
my
today?
baby.
Okay, don't adore me, adore my
Hey, Tara, we on now. You
oh,
texting me. I hope you can see this, honey. We're on now.
we're
And
on now.
don't watch it from your feed. Tap in, come into the live, tag your homegirls, tag your
Share.
friends, your soul tribe. Pull up on
Mm.
us.
Yes, and y'all don't wash your clothes. So if y'all hear the dryer and washer upstairs, my bad. Okay, life goes on. But Samira, how you been doing this week? How you been doing? What's been going on with you?
Girl,
Everything.
I have been heavy into my human design. And I think you
Mm-hmm.
and we talked about human design and how like your profile has to have an invitation. So I've been heavy into my profile, which is manifesting generator, and just learning that me needing to be a busybody, me having like this busy, chaotic vibe where I want to move. It's how I'm built.
Right.
And just letting myself be who I am, not trying to fight who I am and
Right.
define who I am. So yeah. How's it been for
Okay.
you?
This week has been very good for me. I'm just learning to just kind of fight through this ego, honey. That's why we decided that we was gonna make tonight be about the death of the ego. Let me ask you, did you check out that Lauren London interview? It's really what made me be like, okay, let's talk about it. First
Yeah.
of all, Lauren London is a beautiful. I love the growth that I seen with her in the interview. How did you feel about the interview?
I definitely felt like it was a lot of growth, and I appreciated her truth. Like Lauren was saying some stuff, and I was like, "Is this new? Is
Yes,
this the same girl?
right.
That we've seen with Cassie over all of these years? Like you can tell a difference in her, even from Nip's funeral.
Yes,
Like her ability to really be transparent, because she was very secretive. You remember when she had her son with Lil
yes,
Wayne?
Little
We
Wayne.
didn't see him for years.
Years.
So yeah, that episode was good. And we had our conversation about it where it's like,
Mhm.
girl, I'm over here crying.
I got real serious.
And if you saw the Angie Martinez Lauren London interview, I think it was called Everybody's Gonna Die.
Yeah.
Drop a heart. You can say I saw it, I was crying too, whatever, because that interview was good.
It was
So
good.
it brought us to ego though.
Okay.
It
Mm-hmm.
brought us to ego. And while we're brainstorming, like, what are we going to talk about this week? I'm like, Van, let's make it simple. Let's make it about something that we are both experiencing, have
Mm-hmm.
experienced time and time. Oh, I'm talking like a Baptist preacher. Have experienced
You know when you add that.
time after time. But no, for real, like the ego, that man.
The ego, it's a lot. So okay, let me ask you, let's get the real definition of what ego is. For people who don't
Absolutely.
know or they just kind of go off what they feel, give me the real definition of what ego really means.
Okay, so I have my handy dandy notebook. So, ego is a person's self esteem, self importance. It
Mm.
also defines who we are and how we connect with other people.
Mm. Okay, so it defines who we are and how we connect with other people. I just feel like that's a lot because you know, a lot of the times when we think of ego, when I ain't gonna lie, y'all, when I think of ego, I think of Beyonce. I got a big he got a big ego, such a huge ego, and I love
I
his
love his big ego. It's
ego.
too much,
It's too wide, it's too
too
big,
big.
it
It
won't
won't
fit.
fit.
Now, she was being kind of nasty with
Yeah,
that.
that was nasty.
That was
That's
a
not
little
the ego.
nasty. But we was talking, but if you want to just think about it, like, no, when somebody has a big ego, sometimes their ego is too wide and won't fit because they're all into their self. And you said that the definition was about connecting with others, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it's when it's connected to others and we're talking about like ourselves all the time, that's when your ego can kind of get out of control. Tell me of a time where you felt like your like ego had kind of like spit out of control, and what did you do to kind of get your ego back intact and just realize, you know what I'm saying, you gotta do the death of the ego.
So you want me to tell you a time or a time?
Tell me.
Nah. Okay. So if I had to think of like the most recent time, okay. Ooh, this is too real. Like if the person sees this, It's my truth. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
So, one of my friends had invited me to an event that she was having. And honestly, like in this phase and stage that I'm in life, I'm big on nurturing myself, making sure that I am pouring into me, because for the longest time, my ego was based on how much I could do and give to other people. So the event, comes around and she reaches out. She's like, "Are you going to be able to come?" And I'm like, "Honestly, no." And for me, that was an ego death, because the old version of Tamara, the old way that I defined myself, was that even if I was uncomfortable or even if I was overextending, I was just going to show up anyway, because I didn't want nobody saying that I didn't show up for them or that I didn't give them certain things. But with what I've gone through and where I'm at now, like off the rip, no, I'm not gonna be able to make it. And I told her exactly why. Like the old Tamara would have tried to like beat around the bush and be like, "Nah, this is what it is." Because again, I didn't want to look a certain type of way. I didn't want to look like I'm having a tough time or I'm needing that extra time to nurture myself. But I'm like, "Girl, this is what's going on. This is how long it's been going on, and this is what I'm doing." And I felt so good. So that was an ego death for me, where it didn't necessarily look like, oh, I had gotten too big in my ego and I was on some other shit, but I was literally allowing myself to be defined to other people and their relationships in a way that was unhealthy for me.
Yeah. And so you had to be like, nah, I'm going to just be real with you and tell you I'm not coming. And that's really big. That's a really big step. People don't realize that your ego, sometimes, like you said, doesn't have to be where you're feeding that ego, whatever. It can really be where it's like you're standing in your truth and you're not allowing people to use you or play with you. So I really love that. Thank you for sharing that with us.
I like how at the end you said you're not letting people use you or play with you. Okay, Shady Boots. Tell me about a time when you have experienced an ego death.
I wasn't trying to be shady, but that was just real. So for me, I'm gonna tell you, I'm very transparent, and recently I've been kind of going through like just like an ego death, because like going through like a time where I'm going kind of through like a breakup, and it's kind of like for me, my ego was realizing that I gotta cut the shit off. Just cut it off right there. Like just cut it off. Like instead of, okay, boom, let me give y'all an example. You know how you talking to a guy and you kind of want him to sweat you, so you block him and do all of that. But that's feeding my ego. To me, that's feeding my ego. Like, he went like 4 days without contacting me and I was pissed. But then, and I was just thinking like, why are you pissed about that? Because that was just feeding the ego of like me wanting him to sweat me. And then I just kind of realized, like, if you really said you done with something and you really, you stand on your reasonings for being done, it don't matter if he sweats you or not. You need to cut the ties. You need to take the blinders off and just really cut the situation off. So for me, it's like, that's how I kind of did the death of my ego. And also just for me, not getting lost in my mind of thinking things supposed to be a certain way. And it's not that. The reality is not that.
Girl, that was so real. I want to run that thing back, Turbo, because what you just said, a lot of people don't have like the emotional maturity to admit that. You like, I blocked old buddy. He's still trying. No, I didn't block him. I told him I didn't want to talk to him. He's still trying to get in contact with me. He doing the Olympics. And for real, a lot of times that makes us feel like, oh, he on it.
All right. Like,
he on it.
Sweating me.
But in that ego death, though, if you are experiencing a rebirth, if you're shifting from whatever version that he knows you as, how's that helpful for you?
It's really not. It's really not. And what I'm saying, that's why it's like you gotta literally have the depth of the ego and not feed your ego. To me, I always say ego stands for edging God out. Period. So whenever you're feeling like, am I in my ego? Think about like, am I edging God out of this? You know what I'm saying? Because you can't have anything without God, whatever the source, whatever you believe in. So when you're like operating in that ego, that's how I get myself to kind of come back into reality. You know, like when we meet a guy and we fall in love with the potential, well, we really edge God out because that's the potential. We really are not living in the reality of what's really going on.
No. And like even with the edging God out, I feel like what the divine has for us, what God has for us, is always so much better than our human understanding.
You feel me?
So if you lean solely on your ego, if you lean solely on how you want things to look and all of that stuff, like you are missing out on some really awesome opportunities to grow, connect, had these bomb relationships because you like, damn, I wasn't even expecting this. Yeah. That's what you had for me.
Exactly. And then also like you find yourself being in competition and really you shouldn't be in competition with anyone but yourself. You know, and I feel like social media like allows us to really, it plays on our ego so bad. Because now we're scrolling through, now we're looking at this person, now we're looking at that relationship, and we don't know if he's beating her ass or she beating his ass in the background. We don't know.
They
tussling, but we like, dang, they relationship goes. Death of the ego. You don't need to
I hate that.
I hate it.
I have probably said this in every Wind Down Wednesday that has gone down this path. But if you really want to make my skin crawl, say, oh, I just love y'all love.
Yes.
And Vanity, you know, like, girl, I tell you stories about 2010, Tamara and Jessica, 2011, and it's like, don't, baby, look, I can tell you, you know, how we got here, but you should never look at other people's situation and feel like that's the goal because you never know just simply where each person is at. There's so much growth and maturity that has to happen sometimes in relationships. So you looking at your man and you like, dang, he ain't do that. He ain't buy me a Birkin. Why you buy me that tailbar? And it's like,
baby, we trying to buy a house. I'm not buying a Birkin. We not there.
It was times like in my relationship, like we splitting Arby's. What is it? A 4 for $4? Babe, them thin ass little roast beef sandwiches and 2 fries, splitting a drink. Like we have been through so much. So I almost feel like if people look at you, your situation, and they try to use that as a poster, it's like, man, you're missing out on so much growth and what's real. And that's why I wanted to do this topic tonight. And even with the message that I sent before we got in, people always tell you their success story. They always tell you, oh, this is how I did whatever. I made 6 figures or whatever. But they never leave out those parts where they had to grow. They had to transform. And I feel like even in those moments, it is an opportunity to win during and after the storm. Because what you just described was a win to me with your breakup situation.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. Because you just got to start realizing like, you know what I'm saying? It has to be a shift. I have to change. Something has to change. We can't continue to go this way. We can't continue to live like this and just act like everything. It's like, great, because if we do that, guess what we're doing? We're just living in our ego. And that's how we end up being in relationships longer than we supposed to, or being in situationships, being at that job longer than you supposed to, being everywhere where you know, longer than you supposed to, because we're living in that ego. Girl, they got this good 401k, honey. They got these good benefits, honey. What would my coworkers say to me? They gon', you know what I'm saying? What if I have to, you know, what if I gotta sell my house and I gotta move into a 1-bedroom apartment? What my people gonna think about me?
Mm-hmm.
But that's you living in your ego. You're worrying about the wrong things.
Yeah, girl, another ego death moment, because we're talking real.
Mm-hmm.
This what 2 weeks ago I hit you up. I'm like, man, we were supposed to go to DC. We're not gonna be able to go. Because
Yeah.
if we go, we are going to be stretched too thin with the goals that we are trying to achieve. Had I
Right.
been on some ego shit, I would have been like, man, yeah, party's still on. We maxing cards out. We up there stressed out, trying to navigate what it looks like coming back. I feel like once you start really wanting to win, once you start getting to a place where you want to really build a life and a legacy, ego goes out the window. You could care less what it look like.
You
You
can
cooking
care.
your meals, you looking for coupons, you like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna hold off on this.
You
That
can
I feel
care.
like that's what separates.
It does. And I love how Cherie said it takes fearless faith. That's all the
That's
death of
it.
the ego is. It's like you literally stepping 100% into your faith. And all you need is faith as little as a mustard seed, honey.
That's it.
That's it. So when you're taking that ego out and you're stepping directly into your faith and you're like, you know what, God, I don't know how I'm going to do this. What we going to do? I don't know how it's going to shake. I don't know how I'm going to look in this situation. I ain't going to have these lashes. I ain't going to have these braids. I ain't going to be wearing these earrings. I ain't going to have these nails. My toes ain't going to be done. My hairline uneven. All of that.
I'm looking dusty.
I'm looking dusty. Okay? But God's gonna get it together for me. That's really when you're like having that rebirth. And I feel like all ego death is allowing you to enter into the next phase of your rebirth, whatever that may look like.
Yeah. Oh, Cherie say she on one right now. Listen.
You feel me too.
Listen, and me too.
Yeah.
Like having to have uncomfortable situations and really be truthful about where I'm at and what my experience is. Jadelle said, I don't know what it looks like, but I'm trusting you. Yeah. I don't know. Tasia, me too. Yeah, this is a very real thing that's happening. Like consciousness is being shifted. People are wanting better. We have experienced so much, and track it back. 2020, we had
the pandemic.
I ain't want to say it because I want this to float. You had the pandemic, then you had all these protests, Black Lives Matter. Like, y'all, we have literally been through the emotional ringer. So once you get to the end of a cycle like that, it's time to rebirth. Those were deaths. Literally.
And you're really shedding. And I feel like people don't really realize that's what that is, the ego death. When you finally are speaking your mind, when you're finally standing up, you're using your throat chakra, you finally standing up to people that you've been not even saying stuff to, you just been letting them fly. You know what I'm saying? With the BS that they give you, that's you really live like getting out of your ego, and you really just be like, oh, so I gotta use all my chakras. See, that's the thing. Not just that throat. I got to use them all. I got to open up everything that I have, trusting God to get me to that rebirth. Because if I don't do that, then you're committing suicide.
Yeah, seriously. And the thing too with these rebirths is people will look at you like you crazy. Like they will think that you have completely switched up on them. Girl, I've been called fake. I've been called phony.
You feel me?
I've been called a lot of things that don't align with who God has created me to be. And I feel like in those moments of rebirth, you really got to remember and stand. And I love how you said, open up all your chakras. You got to be so stern in your root chakra when you're going through a rebirth, because it's not for other people to really understand. And I truly believe that the people who love you, the people who really understand you, that make an effort, they'll have grace for you. Anything else?
Yeah. Anything else, it really doesn't matter, because when you're going through the rebirth and you're doing the death of the ego part of it, it's very lonely.
Girl.
It's very lonely. And like people don't really like to talk about the loneliness. They don't like to talk about how, you know what I'm saying, you don't feel comfortable calling even your best friend. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying, you're not picking up the phone. You're sitting in a dark house. You're really just, trying to pick yourself up every day, wondering what the hell is going on, what's happening. But you're literally shedding like a snake. See, people be looking at the snake like the snake is so bad, but snakes are really not that bad.
Girl, you see my eyes, because I want to come through and hug you. And you know why I want to hug you.
They do. They everybody think about the snake. Even in the Bible, when they talked about the snakes came up with, Adam and convinced with Adam and Eve. But really, the snake ain't really that bad. The snake sheds their skin.
And honey, think about this. The snake gotta get low.
Yes.
The snake gotta get low. The snake not standing up.
No.
The snake literally on its belly. When you're on your belly, you're in a place of submission. And you're in a place of completely releasing your control.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for real, for real. And yo.
Yeah. And like when you're a fire sign, like one thing I love about you, Tamara, is that you air. You're Libra, so you live up here. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about this almost every Wind Down Wednesday. You just live in the air. You're flying all over. Like even with Phoenix, I'm like, what the hell you got going on? She flying and shit. When you are a fire sign, you are like, we love to be in control, and that's a part of our ego death. Because some things you cannot control. Some things are out of your control. And that's how you really, for me, that's what my rebirth is. It's like relinquishing the control and allowing things to be.
I love how you said that, because with me being so much air, my ego death is actually embracing my control.
See? And it's different
and
for so many people.
Yeah, and understanding like, nah, yeah, baby, you floating and you can see the bird's eye view, but if you choose not to engage in whatever this is, that's okay. You don't have to.
Yeah,
it's so much stuff, girl, I don't show up for. Yeah. And when I say not showing up, I'm talking about emotionally, spiritually, mentally. I'm not showing up to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's such a good feeling, because regardless if you are letting go of your control or you're gaining your control, you are finally deciding to choose you.
That's why I did that. This is crazy. It's not crazy. Nothing is coincidence.
Right.
But that's why I was literally upstairs yesterday doing some other stuff, and that message about choice and free will came up in my spirit that I posted on my Instagram, because there are so many people that I come in contact with that really believe, like with their whole heart, that they have no choice, no free will when it comes to certain situations. You can always choose. Yes, sometimes like circumstances be real messed up, and you like, damn, I gotta pay this, or I gotta do whatever. But you can still choose what your attitude is going to be towards it. You can still choose how you're going to posture yourself and hold yourself up. Like, if you want to be powerful, and again, I'm going to plug this over and over again. If you want to be powerful for real, master free will and choice. It's a whole bunch of stuff that people have in their life right now that they really feel like has to be like that. No.
And it don't. And you start to really do that. And a lot of my clients, they ask, well, how do I do that? Well, how do I not give so much to my kids? Or how do I not give so much to my husband or my mate? You just choose you. Your kids gonna be happy long as you choose you.
They will.
Because
And a lot of times,
no, go
hold
ahead.
on, let me say something about that. Because
Say
y'all,
it.
a lot of y'all mothers who feel like, and I'm gonna say this with my chest, because I know y'all gonna want to tussle after I say this. A lot of y'all mothers who always feel like you have to put yourself behind your kids and not uphold yourself, your kids entitled as fuck.
It's fuck.
They entitled, they're spoiled, they're not self-sufficient. They are not going to grow up to be productive human beings with you holding on to this game and this narrative that you're doing them some justice by making yourself raggedy in order to be a good mother. Like, no, build yourself up so you can build your kids. Teach yourself so you can teach them. Exactly. That's how you do it. And I'm saying it with my chest. I don't care if I ain't birthed no kids yet. I mean,
it don't got nothing to do with that. And I just feel, that's so real. It's like your kids absorb so much of you and so much of what you do. They literally watch your every step. So if they see, like, I don't like the narrative of how we used to be. Well, I just know in my generation how it was. It's like, I'm going to give you everything. I want you to have better than me, better than what I did. So we did that, right? Like my parents, they made us have better than that. And we did that for our kids. But now this generation now, they feel like they don't have to work.
No.
They feel like they just turn on the camera and we lit. Every day
entitled. They are very entitled. I know kids who don't know how to wash their clothes. Like, why are you 16 and don't know how to wash
your clothes? But that's because as parents, we just, I gotta do. I gotta have control of this. And then when you feel like you don't have control, now you defensive. No, you need to kill that ego. Because guess what? Your kids gonna grow up and you're gonna have to let them go. And they're gonna have to figure out that shit for themselves. They're not gonna always have you there to help them out, boo. They gotta be able to think for themselves. So I just feel like that is a big win with the death of the ego, especially when it comes to motherhood, parenting. Like, you guys, make sure you're taking care of yourself. You're killing those narratives and the death of the ego when it comes to your kids and how you're raising them. They see everything. They absorb what you do, even when you don't think that they are. And it's very important that you're taking care of yourself. Yeah. I said this in one of my things before, when you're getting on a plane and they say, put on the face mask because the plane crashing. Which face mask you going to put on first? You going to put your kids' face mask on or you going to put yours on first?
Because while you trying to put on theirs without putting on yours,
Now, you got the brain, you thinking you know what to do. The kids panicking because they don't know what to do. Now you dead because you don't put their face mask on first. Now what the hell they gonna do? You gotta put your own face mask on first. Then
you have to. And that makes me think, like, on an ancestry level, like the narrative of the Big Mama. So Big Mama, she was at the house, honey. Soul food.
That's the perfect example. My grandma called Big Mama too.
Okay, I ain't talking about your grandma.
Let's do soul food. Big Mama, what? Oh, what's wrong with your arm?
Yes, she didn't even know. Child, she minimizing the fact that she burned. Like, no, that's not okay. Y'all, if we are going to live, if we're going to, be able to sustain life, be healthy, all the stuff that's important, we have got to really release that narrative. That's not noble.
Yeah.
It's not. Like, not taking care of yourself, not being aware of what's happening in your body, your health, your mental health, your emotional health. Like, that is not healthy at all.
Yeah. So I really definitely feel like this is a great topic, and just like the rebirth. One thing I loved about Lauren when she was talking in the interview, and she was just saying, like, no, like her kids had to be there and see her struggle and see her pain and see how she felt to get it. So I loved how she said that, because I feel like we try to like block reality from our kids. No.
Yeah. I kudos to Marcel. You might not be on here. You probably busy with your grandkids. But kudos to my mama. Because my mama told us what it was, like at
Mm-hmm.
all points. I understood that my mama was a woman with her own struggles, with her own situations. Like I didn't become an adult and realize, oh, my mama got stuff. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
cognitive of
Yeah.
what was going on. And I felt like as a woman, that helped me to be a little bit more open with myself when I was having hard times, or if I, didn't rise to the occasion of being who I needed to be, that type of thing. Because I'm like, dang, I saw this woman who is beautiful that, you know, has raised me and poured into me, be honest about who she is.
Mm-hmm.
That
Okay.
matters, man.
Yes. Let's see. Asia said, "Woo, yes, my mama kept it real, and I will always be thankful for that." Yes, because I feel like when you're growing up and you feel like your mama kept it real with you, you can respect her more because you like that. Because I feel like for me, I really didn't understand like age until I had my daughter, and I had my daughter at 27. My mom had me at 28. You know what I'm saying? And so I
Mhm.
really didn't understand, like, dang, when my mama had me, she was young just like me. She was figuring out
Mm.
herself. She was trying to figure out who she was. You know what I'm saying? She was going through the divorce with my dad. They
Mhm.
had already been divorced, but she was moving on. She was starting to date. So at the same time, it's like when I grew up and it was like I had to cut her some slack of things, trying to think that she should have been perfect for me because you was really only 28 trying to raise me, bruh. Like when you was young as fuck. Have y'all ever really thought about y'all parents, like when they had you and the age they are, and
I,
realize like, damn, they
it's
was young.
baffling to me. My mama was 19 when she had me. At
Yeah,
19 years old, I cannot imagine being somebody's end all be all, them
right.
depending on me. Like,
Yeah,
I'm in my 30s, and
right.
I'm still wrapping my mind around when I have children, I'm going to have to get up, tend to them. They,
Yes. She said
like,
yes. I say that a lot. At 18,
okay, never.
could never.
And even at, like you said, 28, girl, at 28, I feel like you just now starting to get your adult rhythm. You
Exactly.
just now starting to get to a place where you like, oh, I don't like this. I like
Mm-hmm.
this. So
Right,
you throw a little person who looking to you.
child. Looking at me and really looking at me like, Mama, what we gonna do next? You know what I'm saying?
Listen, Shannon said my mama was 21. 21, I was in them streets,
You
baby.
feel me? I was 20 in them streets, honey. The streets was for me, and the meat was for the streets. And then she said, I had my daughter at 28, and I still look at her. Wow, yes. I
Mm.
still look at Phoenix and be like, girl, you ain't my sister. Like,
I love the way you are with Phoenix. No, Vanity, please let me give you your flowers.
I appreciate.
I feel like you are the perfect mother for a little Libra because we can be very friendly, nice. We can be very, well, what about this? I have seen Vanity go into mama lion mode so many times where it's like, listen, you gonna hear them thunderstorms and you gotta decide right now. Are you gonna be scared every time you hit them thunderstorms, or are you gonna conquer your fear?
Exactly.
And when I heard you do that, I was like, man, that's real. And you find a way to give her that empowerment and really get her out of that limbo space of being weighing it on her scales. Like you do
Yeah.
really good with saying, no, baby, let's
And,
focus.
and I really appreciate that. And it's taken a lot to get there, y'all. It took a lot of therapy for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie because I had a lot of trauma and I just didn't want to repeat that for her. And I feel like she didn't deserve that. And I feel like I had a lot of trauma in my growing up because of my parents' ego. They wanted to get back at each other so bad. And the whole time when I was little, I'm like, me, I'm here. It's about me. Y'all arguing about me. Y'all in court about me. It's me. It's me. Me. It's about me. And the whole time they were like just going back and forth with each other, realizing that they just was forgetting about me the whole time. And so, and that's the ego that I seen in my parents, and no one's perfect. Like I said, they were 28 when they had me. So you think about it, when even now, like when I get into it with my child's father and I'm going back and forth, I gotta like literally take myself out of myself, because I be wanting to go in, and then I just be like, you know what? I'm gonna have
You do so good with that too, Van. Like we ain't gonna
put my pride to the side.
We ain't gonna put the tea out here on the table. We can do that on another episode.
We can do it.
But your mastery of self-control, emotional intelligence, like you have told me stuff, and I'm like, girl, you trying to ride or not? and you like, no.
Because I just be thinking about if I ride, that's my ego.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I gotta still raise Phoenix until she 18 with this man.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And if because I hate when, even when women be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, like, and that's what I talk about in my co-parenting with Adore Your Life, because like with co-parenting, it's all about ego. You don't want your kid to see him because you mad because he's not dealing with you no more. So it's not about you feeding your ego now. So you gonna basically, you know what I'm saying, like handicap your kids. You basically gonna stop your kid from having a relationship with their father because you want to feed your ego because y'all not messing around no more. Yeah. That's not how that go.
That's the whole ego. And the sad thing is that is something that happens all the time. Like I can think of situations where people have divorced and they literally talking to their kids about the other person. And that's a lot for a little person to carry. You're carrying then if you got a little empath or somebody who's sensitive, oh my God, they're carrying your rage, your anger, and they're trying to have a parental relationship, but they carrying shit that came from a marriage that was or a boyfriend, girlfriends. Like, that's not it.
That was me when I was little. I feel like that was me. Like, I feel like, I would try not to say stuff to my dad because I didn't want my my mom to get mad. I mean my mom to get mad, or say stuff to my mom because I didn't want my dad to get mad, and I don't want to feel like that, because again, that's only you feeding your ego. You want to feel like you that bitch, whatever, you that new, like I'm the one. For what though? For what? Yeah. For your kid to grow up to resent you because you decided to keep their parent out their life? Because the tables always turn.
Always. And I feel like conversations start being had, down the line, where whoever is absent, whoever was making them kind of moves where it was like, no, I ain't gonna let you see them. Eventually, all of that is gonna come out. And that is going to look back crazy. Like, it's not... Whew, this is good. Like, I didn't know. I knew we were going to go there. I was telling Mara today, and I think she's on, when I went to go see her, I was like, tonight is going to be just flowing and super vulnerable, because these ego deaths are real, and these are things that we deal with. We are life coaches. We are, empowerment coaches, mindset coaches, spiritual coaches, and we stand in these roles, and at no point are we saying that our life is perfect. But what we are saying is we can identify those wounds. We can identify those traumas because we experience them.
You did? Like Haley, she said, I went through that also growing up. It's terrible, and it's definitely traumatized. It does. It definitely traumatized the kids, because now you don't want to tell. You be like, because look, something could have really been going on with that child. Like, say they got a step parent. That step parent could really be doing something bad to the child, but they're too scared to say anything because they don't want to stir the pot. They don't want to feed the mom ego or the dad ego. Oh, I knew it. Oh, I knew.
Mm-hmm.
So then they just don't say nothing, and they sit there and they get traumatized so long to the point where it's just like no return. So that's like, if you don't kill the ego, you break trust in relationships.
Mm.
And you can't have a relationship without trust. She
Mm-mm.
said, yep, they're already in the middle and don't want to be. Exactly.
And that's so inappropriate. Like, I talk a lot about inappropriate dynamics in families.
Yeah.
And I could go on and on about how children are emotional pillars for adults,
Mm-hmm.
how children have to parent adults. Children sometimes are expected to be partners. Like, I have seen some really distorted, sick stuff. That's your
Yeah.
son, ma'am. That's not your man.
Man, exact.
That's your daughter, sir.
That's
That's not your girl. You
like,
know, it's so many inappropriate dynamics that come up when there is not a healthy understanding that your ego is out of check.
yes. So it's always important, like, no matter what you're doing, to check your ego and realize when you're going through a rebirth. And you know that you're going through a rebirth when you're killing everything that feeds your ego. You know what I'm saying? When you're getting raw and you're getting real. Like I said, you're taking your lashes off, you're taking the extensions off, you're taking the nails off, and you're just really living in your truth, and you're choosing you. You're choosing what makes you happy, not what it looks like to the other person or what makes them happy. Because ultimately, you have to choose to be happy every day. Like, you got to wake up and choose
Yes.
that.
And I feel like too, if you allow other people to have too much control in defining who you are, or defining, you know, what your contribution is going to be to the relationship, like, you end up feeling so depleted. And for me, like, that is the biggest lesson that I've had to learn. I'm not nobody's God. I
No.
have no control over their experience in that way. Like, you can
Mm-hmm.
give your absolute best intentions, but if the person has a certain idea of who you are, it's never going to be enough. So
Yeah.
trying to live up to whatever people define you to be, you're always going to miss that mark. You're
I,
always going to be anxious. You're always going to be depressed, because that's not how it's supposed to be.
yeah. And you're not living your truth. You're living their truth of how they think you should be. And really, they don't even know you.
They don't.
They don't even know you. Like,
They
half of the
don't.
people that we're trying to live up to and be or whatever, they don't really even know who you really are at the core. Not what you
Mm.
put on or what you look like. No, at the core, they don't really know you. You get what I'm
No.
saying? So it's like, at the end of the day, you're waking up every day just to feed their ego.
Yeah.
Every
And
day.
to feed whatever type of comfort definition that they have
They have
created
for
of
you.
you. Like, oh, I know tomorrow gonna be the person that I can get good advice from. I know tomorrow gonna be the person who gonna
Yeah.
help me feel better. It's like, God,
And I
how about, I'm this,
Yeah,
I'm
we
that.
talked about that one time, and I was just like, you. I remember you talking to me, and you like, sometimes people be like, "Well, what should I do?" Whatever, and I said, and I tell they ass, go to Google,
Yeah.
do your own research. I don't know everything, like you said. I can't be a guide. I'm a life coach. All I can
I'm
do is
not your
give you.
God
I'm not
though.
your guide, though. I can just give you
Mm-mm.
guidance. I can try to help you, but I'm not there to tell you this is what you should do. And here's the thing: when you stop feeding into the ego that you have, you realize that you are God, and everything that you need be inside you. Everything that you need.
Everything.
Everything. Your intuition tells you everything. Like, when you, no matter if you with a boy, a man, a girl, your friend, a teacher, your workplace, if you're not feeling set, if you're feeling unsettled, If you have to say a prayer when you sit in that car every fucking day to go to work, that's your intuition telling you every day, I gotta get the hell up out of here. So all a life coach is a person to be like, all right, well, let's come up with a plan.
Yep. And for me, I like to coach to intuition, because a lot of times you come to somebody and you're like, okay, let's devise a plan, but they don't even understand the extent to how whatever they're in is not in alignment with who they are.
Yeah.
Like your intuition, that is so important, but I feel like we're taught not to really trust ourselves. Yeah. So if you have that sinking feeling in your stomach, nah, you a boss. Get up.
Get out for it.
Get up.
Stand up. Stand up.
Stand up. You get weak at the knees. Stand up. Like, nah, I'm gonna buckle down because this ain't right for me.
No, I'm not standing up because I'm down on my knees because I realize that this is not aligning with what I'm supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm on my knees now. That's why I can't stand up.
Mm-hmm. People, I'm telling you, like, I love how you said it's about devising that plan and also reminding them, like, you know what you need. And for some people, that's easier said than done. And tell me if you're like this. Sometimes you coach people, they come in and they have a real good sense of self. They're in balance. And you're like, okay, we'll go ahead and come up with a little la-di-da plan. Right. Then you got some people who they just lost.
They don't know.
They have no idea. Or they're experiencing the after effect of an ego death. They're in that rebirth period and they're trying to learn how to recognize the new person that they are.
Yeah.
That's some deeper, soul work.
That is definitely some deeper soul work, because a lot of the time when you're going through that ego death and you're going through that rebirth, like I said before, you're not going to know who you are. You literally going to be looking like, I'm not gonna lie. I went out with my friends this weekend and she had been telling me that her birthday was on the 15th. And she was celebrating her birthday on the 15th. Her birthday was on Monday. And I was like, okay, well, I hope I shouldn't have Phoenix that weekend. Maybe we could do something. But I've been going through my own ego death and my own, girl, I've been out of my body. The whole time I'm thinking the 15th next weekend. She like, no, that's this weekend. I said, are you sure, girl? We going back and forth. I'm like, are you sure? And I said, girl, I have to apologize to you because I literally been out of my body. I've been out of my body realizing that things. Okay, I'm going to give y'all a real example of an ego death. So, if y'all know, I put a real transparent post on my story when I was talking about how I had Susie, my car, and how I got Susie. My car had got repossessed, and I ended up getting Susie, and I made the most money with my clothing line and all of that. During this time, I went through this phase where somebody was like, yeah, I can try to get you a car or help you find a car or whatever. So this whole time I had my mind stuck on this Kia Telluride, y'all. I was just like, I really want this Kia Telluride. If you could get me this Kia Telluride for the low, I'm going to get it. I got to the point where I hated Susie, which was my car. Every time I got in her, I just was like, I can't stand this car. Like, I'm ready to get out of this car. Like, this is just not me. It don't want, it's the 2009, it's 2022. Like, I'm just like really in my ego. Like, I was almost embarrassed to get out the car sometimes, y'all. Like, for real. I was almost like, I'm carrying a Louis bag and I'm driving a 2009 Kia. That's the ego. That's me feeding my ego. And then finally one day I wrote in my journal, link in my bio if you need a journal. I wrote in my journal and I was like, I got to get out of my ego and I got to appreciate what I have now. So in order for me to do that, I started waking up every day writing about what I was grateful for, even the small things. I'm grateful that my coffee turned out great this morning. Like little stuff like that. I'm grateful that when I woke up, Phoenix didn't cry this morning.
Come on.
Little stuff like that. I'm grateful that when I got in the car, Susie crunked up. And,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful that I'm not having no car payments right now. I'm able to save my money. I did that for 30 days straight. And in the death of my aunt, I was able to get her car and get out of Susie. God granted me a car. A car that at one point I was so in my ego, I hated. And what was crazy is before my aunt died, I remember like her saying, Vanity, you and Phoenix, come with me, come help me pick out a car. And we rode in the car and we was in the car. And I was like, Auntie, this is a good car for you. This cute girl, this stylish, just to go 2 months down the road. And that's my car now.
Let me tell you something. Haley, when you said I get to instead of I have to, that is major for me.
Yeah.
Because again, everything is a choice. I get the opportunity to.
I do.
I am able to experience these different things. I don't have to do nothing.
I don't have to do
So I love how you highlighted that. But piggybacking off what you said, Vanity, you went with your aunt. This is the car that you had your eyes on somewhat. And even in that moment, you were still in a space where you could be joyous with her, helping her to get what she needed, her brand new car. A lot of people in them kind of situations be so janky in the mind that they wouldn't have even been able to support their aunt in that because it looked too much like what they wanted or too much like what they was trying to get. But you were humble enough to be able to stand in a place of support to help her. God had to grant that.
And see, and I feel like the only way I was able to do that is because I got out of my ego. I experienced an ego death, and I started writing down every day what I was grateful for, that the little things that he put into my life. That was the only way I was able to break that cycle. See, ego death is all about just breaking that cycle. You know, when you're doing something, you be like, I just can't seem to break the cycle. I just keep going through the same things, and I don't understand why.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta start digging into you. You gotta start doing, what am I doing to continue to have this cycle going on?
How am I welcoming that type of energy? What am I putting out to make people feel like that's appropriate?
Yes.
Girl, I used to feel so used. Like I used to feel like, oh my God, like people feel really comfortable like using me. And I would never say it out loud, but then I started to realize, when did you make these people feel like that was okay?
Yeah.
When did you make them feel like you had a 24-hour hotline that was available to them and they could ask you for whatever, and that you were just full of this energy that was expendable?
Alexa,
like when did you start doing that? Okay.
Pretty Ricky hotline.
Pretty Ricky on the hotline. Like when did you set that standard that it's okay?
Mm-hmm.
And man, that's some sobering. That is sobering, because when you look around and you like, dang, I said it here with this person. This person think it's okay. This person think it's okay. You have no choice but to look back at you.
Exactly. And she said, hey, girl, hey. She said, yes, put a check on yourself. You always got to check yourself. And it's all about checking your ego, really. Like, really coming back and be like, is this really serving me? What's best for me? Or is this just feeding my ego? This just
Am I looking like the good person? Am I looking like the savior? Am I looking like the person who always say? Because this gets deep. I love your examples, but like my ego experience is sick.
It's sick. It's Future. You know what it is. You know what I love to say. Future, dress it up and make it real for you.
Dress it up and make it real for whatever that
fucking means.
Okay. Like it gets dark. Like people don't be understanding. Like that ego stuff will have you out here. I'm gonna tell you something that people do that's so ego based, and I get disgusted. Oh, I was at the store and there was this homeless man. He came up to my car and I gave him $20. Why you do it?
I just felt bad.
Why you do it? Look, like if you did it and it was from a space of I'm wanting to be a blessing to this other person,
you wouldn't have said
so that I can talk about it. That's not of God. No. That's not connected to your soul at all. And I ain't gonna lie, like a lot of my ego deaths was around wanting to look like this exemplary person. And that was killing
like
me.
that's the same, like if you give somebody or let somebody borrow money, or even in your friendship, because I like to bring it down to their level. Like you let somebody borrow money, you let somebody do something, I don't gotta keep telling to nobody. I don't gotta go around and tell nobody, yeah, I let them borrow money. Like that's not you being a friend.
No.
That's you feeding your ego. What you want yourself to sound good because you let them borrow? Girl, I let them borrow money.
I let them borrow that money.
Yeah, like that's not you being a friend. If I let you borrow money, pay me back when you can.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about it no more. And you don't gotta feel like, oh dang, I can't call my friend.
Every time I talk to you.
Yes, I can't call my friend because she's gonna be wondering where her money is. That's not it. That's not
but
really
a lot of people,
friend.
they give for real. Like they give. They show up. They are present, and it's ego based. You dead ass tired. Why you going over to that girl house just to show your face? You don't have nothing to contribute. You really don't have nothing to give because you ain't got nothing in you for real, for real. You just going over there just to be doing something. Like I'm so off of that.
And you know what else I done checked myself on when it comes to my ego? Like, especially like when my friends, like when I'm dealing with something or somebody and I don't deal with them no more, I don't fuck with them, they don't fuck with me. When they bring that other person up, I just check them right there. I wish the best for them. I don't got nothing to say. I'm not feeding your ego because you want me to talk shit about them with you. No, ma'am. Because I don't.
And I'm not going to dishonor myself and make myself uncomfortable giving energy. And even deeper. Because you could be on some shit where they talking about the person and you like, oh, I'm unbothered. That's still feeding your ego. That's still
feeling your ego. Because I've learned that you have to have, for me, like, I'd rather have that compassion for them and say, God bless them in their situation and keep it moving. And let that person know, look, every time I talk to you, we don't got to bring up X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Because I'm not in that space no more.
Yeah. That's them difficult conversations, though.
Yeah.
That's because I feel like when you have conversations like that, it runs the risk of the person that you're talking to having their opinion or they thought about it. But really, at the end of the day, I want to have a relationship with you. We don't have to keep exploring this situation and this topic. And if that's the only link that's connecting us, then we really don't have a connection.
That's why, but it basically just shows, it separates the real from the fake. Because if I'm always talking to you and we always talking about some gossip and what he, she, and C has said, then what? You're really not benefiting me. This is really not a real friendship. I'm only interested in relationships where I can make me some money, baby.
Do you want to be a goal friend?
Are you a goal friend? Or you a go out my goddamn life?
Okay. Are you a goal friend? Or are you a go friend? Because like, no. I feel like in us talking about this, and I don't know about you, but energetically, it feels lighter.
It does.
It's really minimizing a lot of the drama, a lot of the confusion, a lot of just unnecessary mess out of your life.
Yeah. Or you feeling like you gotta tell your own business.
Child.
Cause sometimes people just want to call you and see what you got going on so they can know your business. Cause you just feeding their ego. They want to know, is you doing better than them?
They do.
You know what I'm saying? They want to know that. So now you telling your business and they're like, oh no, she's still over there stuck.
Oh, that made me feel good.
Yeah. That made me feel good. She over there stuck.
Oh, I'm still doing good.
That's trashy.
It is. And a lot of y'all friends on there.
A lot of y'all friends on.
A lot of y'all friends on there.
If you got a friend that's like that right now, girl, what? they don't got no positive thing to give you or nothing to, they don't give you no solution to it or nothing. They just want to hear what you're going through. They be like, oh dang. They can't be like, well, girl, did you write about it in your journal? Did you go for a walk? Drink you some water? They can give you all kind of things, but they just want to know what you're going through so they can see if you still stuck, so you can feed their ego. Look, they could get in the bed with they boo and pillow talk. Babe, she's still doing bad.
Yeah, and they assume, girl, I had somebody to say to me this week, because they had not talked to me, they felt like it was because it was hard for me that they had kids and I didn't. Like, people be wow.
Yo, that was deep.
People be wow.
But that
because
you see how ego that
nothing.
Is? Huh? You see how deep in their ego that they are. They really so deep in their ego. They like, oh, well, she must not want to talk to me because every time my kids say something in the background, it triggers her. You see how sick that sounds?
It's sick. And again, like, you really be sitting there like, damn, people have no idea. So I say that to say, even when you not telling your business, if people are sick enough and nosy enough and messy enough, they gonna be trying to conclude something. They're gonna be trying to come up with any scenario. Anybody who knows me knows.
Morgan said, shit, you can have mine.
Sis, I'm living though. Like, I realize that in this moment, it's like, nah, I'ma travel. I'ma enjoy my boo. I'ma build my business. People think that if it's a challenge in your life, I'm an alchemist, baby. I do magic. So anything that's a challenge for me, I have learned how to transmute that energy into something that's going to be productive for me.
Yeah.
So,
because you might couldn't have that baby, but you birthed in the period of talks with Tamara. See, that's the type of friend. But you already went through a birth. We had a whole pop-up shop where the baby had came out of the cooler.
I'm birthing and nurturing the people around me.
So, see, that's where it be going over people's head.
Over. So I feel like when you start having conversations like that, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm at a place where I don't really know what to do with that. Yeah. I don't know what to do with you. Because what?
Yeah. Jadelle said that's why you should be careful who you allow in your circle and pay attention to how they celebrate your success. Yes, you should. You should definitely pay attention to how they celebrate your success and realize a lot of times it's not always about you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people have other things going on in their life that they dealing with, and that's why they can't to celebrate your success, or they can't be there, or they can't be there how you want them to show up, or all of that. Okay, boom. I know a lot of people where relationships that broke up because you couldn't come to my birthday dinner.
Let me tell you something. Catch this on the playback about tomorrow. Baby, I'm air. I may have said yes today.
And then guess what?
What I tell y'all in that other one, if you knew me an hour ago, like I said, I'm probably somebody different.
So that means
I mean that.
Well, you know,
don't,
and you know,
count on me.
I be like, I tell people now, like, look, today ain't the best time to ask me because the way I'm feeling right now, I'm gonna tell you no. But tomorrow, I might be in the get up and go, let's hit it, move. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and I feel like people who are like that, where they get mad at people for not coming to certain things, I'm big on energy. I don't want you coming to my events. I don't want you coming to my dinner, whatever, and your energy off. If it's not a good day for you, if you got something else that's going on and you can't contribute to this energy exchange, I don't want you there.
Yeah, no, I don't want you there. And guess what, sis? It's okay. Like, if you really my friend, I might can't go to your birthday dinner, but guess what? We'll go to another dinner next week. Yeah. I got you. Don't worry about it. And so it's just, y'all, this ego death stuff be really real. And I need people to start realizing when you're feeding your ego and when you're really not, letting go of the control and not feeding into the ego or other people's egos.
Yeah. Because even, and not to drag this, but even with, being mindful of who is in your circle, I have seen so many people that once they realize somebody's energy is off, they become infatuated with that. Yeah. And that becomes like the key piece. Okay, Susie ain't shit. Move on. I have seen people literally stay in that person wasn't a good friend to them. Yes. Or the person did whatever to them. And you don't even realize how much energy and dominion that you're giving that person over you. I'm big on that. Once you realize something, maybe because I'm air. That's what it is. Once I realize something, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. I don't like when people get infatuated because that's some ego stuff too. Yeah. You're so used to being the victim or the person that's done wrong or left out in the cold that you are literally latching on to that perspective and identity.
And it's just so trashy. And I think I made a post, when you bring it up, it reminds me of the post that I made on TikTok. And I was just like, don't you hate it when you're around a pretty girl and pretty women or whatever? And it's like maybe a new group or maybe your old group, but it's kind of like, dang, everything's a competition. Like, I can't, like, they looking like you just so pretty and that dress, I don't want you to wear that dress because that dress look better on you than it do on me. And I don't want you.
Girl, they be hating me. You want me to tell you why they hate me?
What they hate you about?
Because I'm plus size and I'm that bitch. Like, they be hating it when I come into the situation. Why they on her?
Why they on you? You know, when I was my biggest, I had somebody tell me one time, you pretty now, you know what I'm saying? But you were prettier when you were smaller.
Okay.
Just because you smaller don't mean you pretty.
Nah, shawty. Girl, I see my partner's in here, so I can't even go into that. She a Leo. Y'all do.
Just because you smaller ain't, and then guess what?
It don't matter.
It don't matter.
But I feel like earlier on,
fat or small, I'm that bitch. Like, you need
either way.
You need to know that.
And girl, I would go into like friendship situations. I'm not lying. And as soon as we go out, and they figure out, hold on, what's tea? What Tamara got going on? What y'all say? Start hating. Start talking about my clothes. Why? I ain't gonna let up.
But and that's what I love about you, Tamara, because one thing I know about you, bruh, it's kind of like when we get in the room, me and you get in that room, that Leo and that Libra energy get in that room. It's kind of like, it's literally, we work the room, we shake the room.
I be standing in the house. That's the whole thing. We ain't really stepped out in a minute, but it's really one of them situations for real.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we got on this, but yeah, this is a real thing.
It is. It's real tea. So it's like, here's the thing, like when you going out, even if it's new people, like I be understanding like people have like social anxiety, and because of the pandemic, it's made some people's social anxiety even worse. But all you literally have to do is be you. Don't be into your ego. Don't try to overdo it. Don't try to, be in the competition with the other person, because that's just you feeding into your ego. No matter if they have on a brown paper bag and you have on Louis from the top to the bottom, honey, if that's that girl, that's that girl.
If she confident, if she's standing who she is, she exuding that goddess energy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And if I'm that girl with that brown paper bag, I'm like, bitch, come on. Come. Because the money is
Come on.
Because the money is flowing, honey.
I saw this article, and it was Matthew Knowles, and he was talking about how he always taught Beyonce and Solange.
I read this
to prepare for what was it, mistakes or accidents?
Yeah, for
or
accidents
whatever
when they on the stage and stuff.
And see, this the thing. What's the first thing that they tell somebody, like when they performing or they in their craft? Keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going. People don't know. People don't know your insecurities.
Yo,
people don't. They don't.
I'm
9 times out of 10, we highlight them and be like,
"Girl." Post that one. Remember when it was Kelly, Michelle, and Beyonce in 106 Park, and they were singing Soldier, and Michelle fell.
Beyonce,
and she got back up. Status ain't good. I ain't taking.
And mama, and in that moment though, think about it. In that moment, she like, oh baby, we're still performing.
We about to perform. The show must go on.
The show has gone on.
Right.
But I say that to say, like, for real, that's another. It's really an ego death thing, because a lot of times, like when it comes to like an unhealthy relationship with our ego, we feel like things have to be perfect.
Yeah.
We feel like it has to fit in a certain mold. By all means, do whatever is gonna make you feel elevated and great and all of that good stuff. But on the flip side, understand that you gonna be worthy regardless. If you exude that worthiness.
Yeah. And that's really what it is. I feel like that's what, like I said before, that's what causes us to stay in relationships longer than we should, because we're feeding that ego and we're just wanting it. Oh, it looks so real. It looks so good. And then really it ain't even that. Like, you know what's been surprising me? Like, I know this might be off topic, Samira, but did you ever watch Crisley's? No, I don't know their name. Crisley's Know Best or Chris.
Oh yeah, you talking about Todd now?
Yes, and you know how they all going to jail now because of tax invasion. But if you look at them, you would just be like, y'all really wasn't paying y'all taxes, and y'all had moved to 4 or 5 houses like that.
Y'all just wasn't.
Y'all just wasn't paying y'all taxes. Now both of you, not just him, but the wife got to go to jail too. Crazy to me. And that's just like you were so stuck in your ego trying to live up to that image. Now you about to lose it all because you didn't want to pay your taxes.
I'm trying to tell you, when it would it have killed you to stay in the first house?
Right. But you had to move to the second and the third.
You had to.
You had to, because you had to move on up.
And then while you sitting up here doing all of this stuff to feed your ego and literally putting yourself in a compromising position, all them people and all them levels of yourself that was low vibrational that you was trying to feed, how is that going to sustain you in jail? Exactly,
because now the kids can't have a show because they was living up for you. I just was reading and I was like, dang. Did y'all watch that Carisha Please with Kevin Gates?
Yo, we was talking about this today. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I want this to go. I know we've been cussing a little bit, so I ain't gonna tell you where he stopped.
I be cussing all the time. I know it don't be going. I'm sorry, y'all. Follow me on my YouTube.
Maybe we just cuss. Maybe that's what
I'm
it
a
is.
cusser.
We cussers. I cuss. But for real, like when you sent it to me, and you had sent me the clip, and I had seen the different. Okay, no, it's a no for me. I couldn't, and I'm gonna tell you why. I feel like you grown. You are a grown adult person. Mm-hmm. Sex should not make you that slow. I'm gonna stick my tongue in and I'll stick your booty and lift your butt up. What? That's scary to me. He started talking fast and aggressive. No, I'm serious, Vanity. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. Okay, you eat cootie. Okay, you eat butt. Okay. But I'm gonna stick and I flip your tongue and stick and I want your whole butt on. What?
Somebody, I done had too much water and I almost
Because
had
there's somebody in their 30s. We're not talking about what is it? What do boys go through? A puberty boy that just discovered sex. You a grown man with children. This is so weird.
Yo, I was just dying laughing because you know how when somebody just too far gone, Kevin's just a person and that's just Kevin. Like he just too far gone in what his spiritual ego. I don't know what he got.
Baby, I don't want that spirituality because it's giving me sexual predator.
Well, you know, it gives me trauma. It gives me trauma because he's already been molested as a child. So he probably and then you know how we used to watch Christian Grey, and we was all infatuated with Christian Grey, that movie. You know the movie. Y'all, what's the movie? What's the name of the movie? Drop it in the comments. The name of the
Christian
movie.
Grey. What happened?
Christian Grey. You know, the girl that was like, she had found a dude and he was just like had the sex room and
50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey.
A deviant.
Yeah, right there. And then at the end, he basically, an older lady introduced it to him and basically raped and molested him. It's like he did all of that because he was traumatized.
Mm-hmm.
And we
see, my whole thing is, and I feel like our Black men specifically, like, we need to have more conversations like that. Like, been disgusted with Boozy ever since he got Tootie Raw prostitute to give him some head. That is... Stop! Because I be trying to stay up with the name.
It's giving R. Kelly. It's definitely giving R. Kelly. You know how
like
about R. Kelly and Trey Songz. And I love Trey Songz, but
Trey Songz and R. Kelly a whole dub.
They a whole dub, honey. I can't even listen to the first.
So did you watch it though? Did you watch the interview? What happened? What he was talking about?
With who?
With Kevin Gates and Carisha.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I feel like he was good when he wasn't talking about, like, when he went into the whole sex and licking. I was like, okay, we get it. But I feel like he was him. Like, he really did have some good points where he was just talking about spirituality, what relationships feels to him, and how a man should treat a woman, and, you know, stuff like that. He had his points, and I'm on that. He just go way too deep. And
I need the edited version.
And it be really having me question Drika. Like, everybody be like, oh, Drika, but Drika was into that. So y'all be thinking like, oh, she just so into her flowers and herbs, but she married that man.
I think Drika is a high priestess witch.
And I feel like she's been here before.
Oh, yeah, Drika about 1,000. But that's another conversation.
That's another
Jessica, I always say that. Drika about 1,000. But I think what Drika probably did with him is did some tantric sex with him where she probably paralyzed him to get what. Okay, Mara, yes. Had him in a trance.
Yes.
Where she was steady padding her bank account.
Exactly.
Doing what she needed to do. But I feel like it was probably like a 50 Shades of Grey, like a submissive
type of deal. And I feel like to him, with him being like going through the molestation when he was little, he ain't gonna know the difference. You get what I'm saying? She probably did save him as far as like his soul and the way he viewed things and stuff like that. She probably was a healer to him. But honey, she was healing them pockets, honey. Girl. She was healing them pockets.
I want my boy to get help, and I want them.
You went away. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Oh, you came back.
Okay.
You went away. I can hear
you now.
Wait. Ciao. I can hear you now. Y'all, the
cool.
kicked in. But I broke into a sweat. Sorry.
No, and we over, but the conversation good. But I need a edited version of the interview because I will be open to seeing it. but I can't do audio porn right now. I'm
no,
sorry.
he had some. I feel like, honestly, to be honest though, I feel like that he didn't start talking about the porn part and like going into all of that until the very end. They started playing a game, and she started asking him more questions. The first part of the interview, he wasn't really into that like that. Like he was just talking about him as a man.
They tried to spin it and make it salacious.
Yeah, and then when you watch like the clips, you just think that's all he's talking about, but he really be talking about other things too. It was just the last part of the interview where he really go into like, you know what I'm saying, and gotta eat the booty like groceries.
I got a question though.
Okay.
Speaking of Carisha, please. So the viral clip that's going around is, "Oh, we go together now." Yeah, we go together. Real bad.
Yeah, real bad. Real bad.
So, like, we've never talked about that interview. How do you feel about that clip? Those lines of questioning.
I feel two ways about it, though. I feel two ways about it because, like, my wretched side and my lady side. My wretched side is like she's a city girl, you know what I'm saying? And she about the money. She young. She about having fun, and she not looking into a relationship. But then I look at myself like at one point in my life I was a city girl. Now I'm 33. You get what I'm saying? Like at one point, Carisha, you're not gonna be how Cassie was. At one point, Cassie had to rip up the contract and decide to have the babies with her trainer. So at one point, you get what I'm saying? It was one point she was
not the contract.
Cause you know Diddy be having them girls on contracts.
Yeah, I feel like somebody like Diddy, cause we talking ego. It's right on brand with what we talking about.
Brand.
Somebody like Diddy, you gotta play snatch the cat back.
You do.
I'm old school. You gotta kind of play with him, and I feel like she did a good job with being herself with him. But I do also feel like with him, he get off on the fact that women are attracted to him for who he is, and I mean,
yeah,
who wouldn't be?
Exactly, and I feel like he gets off on like when he did his speech, and you know what I'm saying, all them years you cheated on Kim, and then she died. Now you so sad, or you
I should have married her.
I should have married her. Or when you say, "I shout out to Cassie, all them years she held you down, but you didn't want to be fight. You had her on a contract."
But that's sick too. Yeah. First of all, don't wait till I'm 6 feet under to be talking about you should have married me.
Yeah.
It don't take nobody all day to recognize sunshine. If you walk out and you see sunshine, you know what it is. Don't wait till I'm 6 feet under for that. And with the whole shouting out Cassie, that was highly disrespectful.
That was highly disrespectful because she done moved on. I think she's married now. She got 2 kids with the dude. And it's like, girl, she not stunting you. She did what she needed to do. She got her money out that situation so she could be a model and be waiting for you to come and
you are ready. Cassie, here go Cassie. It's me and you. Now. Very basic.
Very basic.
Are you ready?
I think I'm gonna make that
move. No. No energy. No nothing. Very, very basic. Straight to the point. I'm gonna get these out. Girl, we done cut up. I think it's over 9:30.
It is. We got to go. You guys, we and Tamara be having such a fun time coming on here talking to y'all. I hope that we be feeding y'all spirit because we be cutting up in here. And then y'all know when I get about 3, I've been pouring this wine the whole time. Y'all know I get about 2 or 3 glasses and I start sweating on my nose and it becomes too much. Kalea said, okay, egotistical and rich. He can have it his way with these women. When Carisha's done, he's moving on to the next. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
What time is it?
Morgan said, no, it's only 9:10. Stop playing with me. Don't cut my thing. Hey, birthday
Is
twin,
it
just
really
showing my love.
9:20?
Hey, birthday twin, boo. Y'all, so we are doing wind down. We do wind down Wednesdays every other weekend. I mean, every other week. If we should we do once a week or every other week is good for y'all. Y'all let us know.
Let us know in the chat if y'all want to do this every week.
Or
And if we could finesse it and do it live, would you come?
would
Please
y'all
let
come
us
to like a
know.
little like gathering conversation type of thing? Because we would love to do it live and have people come. But we're gonna continue to do this because
Morgan said once a
once a
week.
week.
Oh, the other. Okay, now Morgan said once a week, and it's more than one person. So y'all let us know.
Y'all let us know. Okay, Haley said I would. You would like for us to do it. So we should do it once a week. And if we did it live, Haley said I would. I'm assuming that that's what she would want to do.
We taking that as both.
We taking it as both. Yeah. I want a girls meetup in chat. Yeah, so y'all, we really been trying to get together thinking about I come once a week. Okay, awesome. We've been thinking about kind of doing like a little live version and maybe having people come out and we just have a conversation kind of little thing. So we'll let y'all know when we get that together. But I'm Vanity and I'm a life coach. I life coach on mindset, finding your purpose, co-parenting, and I'm all about adoring your life. And in order for you to do that, you have to invest in yourself. So if you haven't already, make sure that you follow me on social media under adore_coach Vanity. I'm always dropping reels like every day. And I'm always dropping like just quotes and tips and stuff like that. So make sure y'all follow me on Instagram and everything. Hold on, Fifi. And go ahead, Tamara.
I'm Tamara. I am a life coach as well, certified life coach, both of us. I specialize in spiritual life coaching, intuitive life coaching, mindset, manifestation. One thing I do want to specify is that you don't have to be into crystals or tarot to work with me. Whatever your belief system is, I am great and well versed in different spiritual practices. And I'm all about walking in your power, spiritual power. We have so much that we can do from an aspect of being able to be spiritually sovereign, being able to be full of faith, connected to what our beliefs are. So I'm your person if you want to go down that journey and that path. And my tagline is always unapologetically thrive. Follow me on all social media platforms at Intuitive Talks with Myra.
Sorry. Okay.
And we can go. And one thing that I want to say before we close out, we can go as deep as you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can keep it as surface.
And we can keep it as surface, you guys. Surface. However you like to do it. But we have a good time every time we come on here. It's always great. We're gonna upload this on our YouTube channels. The link's gonna be in our bio. If you want to just replay this one or the ones from the week before, you can do that as well. And I always have it pinned to my story when you first go on my Facebook so you can catch up and all that as well. So even if you want your friend to watch it or whatever, send it to them. They can watch it later. But y'all, we love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure that y'all are like definitely be in tune with ego death, what it looks like when you're going through a rebirth, and just know that you're never alone. Reach out to us if you need someone to talk to. Other than that, though, Tamara, I'm out. You good? You got anything else for the folks?
I'm good. Keep thriving, y'all. We are past survival. It is time to thrive.
Thank y'all. Have a good one. Enjoy your life.
Have a good one.